How's it going, everyone? For those of you who don't know, my name is Micah Decker. I represent investor relations for Tautachrome. Tautachrome is the company behind the newly released augmented reality app known as ARknet. Now in this video, we're going to give you a glimpse into the ARknet Summit, where we answer some of the previously asked questions by our community. But before we get to that, I want to suggest if you're new to ARknet and you want to learn more, to watch the two previously recorded interviews between myself and the creator of ARknet, David LaMountain. There's a lot of information in those videos that you should probably catch yourself up on before you continue into this video. Now, with that being said, if you're interested in joining our community, speaking to myself, speaking to the creator, speaking to the other fellow ARknet enthusiasts, and want to get more information about upcoming events within the company, within the community, then I suggest you join us on Telegram at t.me/clickzy. That's t.me/KLICKZIE. And also, I'll be sure to leave a link to that as well. To get right to it, I'll be interviewing David LaMountain, the creator of ARknet, Dr. Jon Leonard, the CEO of Tautachrome, and Jordan Gray, the CIO of Honeycomb Digital, as well as an advisor for Tautachrome. I hope you all enjoy. So from left to right we have David LaMountain, the creator of ARknet. In the middle here we have Dr. Jon Leonard, the CEO of Tautachrome. And Jordan Gray on the far right, the CIO of Honeycomb Digital, and additionally an advisor to Tautachrome. So what I'm going to do here is ask the questions from the community, and if you all feel like you can answer it best, just chime in. So our first question here is, how will clickzy be integrated into ARknet?
That's a great question, because clickzy, trusted imagery, and trusted technology in general is so important in everything we do. And getting it in there right is what our aim is. We're doing a lot of work on ARknet technology. ARknet can be the fundamental first big consumer of trusted imagery. So the name of the game is get ARknet functioning well, and then let the trusted imagery be built within that framework.
I think that was a pretty solid response.
Yeah.
I guess on to the next question here. Unless you all wanted to.
I can patch something in too.
Okay, go ahead.
I can also say that as far as the technology itself, we could try to build that technology and peddle it into an OEM or to other different commercial applications, but what Dr. Jon was saying is we're going to build the platform and we're going to be a consumer. We're going to be the biggest consumer of that technology, which is going to be, while it's going through phases of its own development and improving and so forth, where we can keep a very good handle on who's accessing it, how it's being accessed. We have a lot of analytics around the consumption of it and so forth. So we're going to be able to build a better product in the end by having it within our own incubation environment and launch pad, which is ARknet.
Great. So, unless Dave wants to chime in or anything?
I mean, besides trustable imagery, I think like Sean Pfeiffer, who's with us today, the content creator portion, and these different content creators having the ability to control and own and monetize their content, I think is going to be a huge component to all that, as well as propel the success of ARknet along with it. So I think that's also another big component that definitely shouldn't be missed.
Totally.
What is the plan on documents and videos being available on the ARKs?
Sure. So as far as documents go, or any type of file that can be attached into an ARk is just the container. Initially, users will be putting in images and photos and multiple photos, and then video clips or other types of documents that are associated. There's really no limit to the type of files that could be added in the future. But as we're trying to bring the community on board, we can't really start with this menagerie of file types and so forth. It needs to be very comprehensible. So we're starting off with plain old imagery. It's closest to the ClickSy technology, so we're going to be watermarking off of those environment, getting all those watermarked and so forth, and then we'll be adding it to video, which is going to follow some similar but varied treatments of those patents. And then other types of documents can be added that may or may not include ClickSy directly, but you're already establishing authenticity by the media that's associated with those other documents, PDFs or signed contracts, release forms, and so forth.
What would you say is a realistic timeline for full app maturity?
Well, now, let me address that question. That's such a big question. Full app maturity, my gosh, we're talking about a global phenomenon that's going to penetrate every aspect of what people do when they buy and sell things. So let's give that some space. In 5 years, we'll cover a lot of ground. In 10 years, it'll be a lot more. So let us just say maturity is a long ways downstream. But what we're going to do right now is going to be well beyond the maturity of what people wish and hope to have.
Yeah, and what we had been talking about earlier today is as different verticals come online that are revenue generating verticals,
Right.
those verticals may lead a maturity model ahead of other parts of the app.
Yes.
So if certain markets are really lighting up with activity in content creation or real estate or whatever avenue it might light up, and we're doing more development in that area, that's going to come to maturity first, because we will be better supported by the revenue that's coming in.
Now with revenues, if the revenues are realized, will we see additional authorized share reductions or share buybacks in the future?
To you guys.
Again, share buybacks. Any corporation will buy back its shares to improve the value, the power of those shares. And so certainly that's in our future. Revenues drive everything. And would that be an element? It's an element of every successful corporation. So the answer is yes.
I like that question.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
like that answer too.
Is there any update on acquisitions?
David.
So we, to be careful about it, we are in talks with some. There are some potential ones that we're also looking at, but it's a very serious path on the table that we're going after. Anything we require, we don't want to commingle it with ARknet, but be as a separate arm or separate apart that helps build Tautachrome and add revenue and stability to the company itself.
Yeah, acquisitions do offer a way to get mature elements into the company if they support our mainline vision and approach. We're not interested in just acquiring everything. We have no interest in being a conglomerate, but specific high-value things, certainly.
What is the status of the 6th patent and are more being developed?
David.
So the 6th patent is currently in application process with the USPTO. There is also additional IP that is being developed, talked about, and processed that we will be not releasing but putting out there as well.
And some patent extensions.
And patent extensions as well, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
If you think about it, we're a technology company. So new technology, new ways to do things, processes, procedures that really make sense, new mathematics, new software, that's our bread and butter. We do that all the time. So that question is, yes, that and more. Yes, certainly.
Yeah. And it's also important to note that all those ClickSy patents, we had every single claim.
Every single claim that we applied for
Granted.
has been granted.
Over 100, how many total claims?
It would be 117 total claims.
Wow.
We started with 100. We were delighted to get all 100 issued, but in the process, we got 17 more. That's fine. And more are coming.
Great. So with the ramping up of ARknet, will you be hiring a sales team?
Yeah, and so on that point, there's different verticals that might need some more love and attention to develop, to penetrate certain markets that are available. but it's going to be as needed. We're going to be spinning up support in that area. But our whole model is not to scale up 10,000 salespeople or to scale up 100 salespeople. Our model will definitely be centered around getting the messaging right, getting the branding right around a vertical, maybe having a lot of customer contact up front and a lot of understanding of that space and what people need. We're going to be trying to open up a lot of dialogue with the consumers so that we have that discussion, and then we're going to try to automate the crud out of everything, so that people can have a more of a self-serve access to our product line, because the product line is going to be broader than any one salesperson is going to want to have in their head.
Right.
It's just so vast of a type of transactions that can happen, subscriptions and so forth, that it would be just too complex to try to develop a team that's going to support all those different areas. We'd rather have almost like a portal access dedicated to each vertical that would be developed, and we have the technology to back that.
Will one of the revenue streams include in-app purchases?
I think almost all of them will be. Naturally, we do have web-based involvement with purchasing and so forth, but you purchase credits outside the app using our web app, and then you basically have credits just like in Spotify. And Spotify is a trademark of Spotify Incorporated, not us. The footnote.
When will public ARKs be available?
David, why don't you take that one?
Well, we have a few more items that have to be checked off. The biggest thing is to make sure that the users and their content and their privacy is first and foremost protected, which is the mission of this platform. With automated content, we have to make sure we abide by the terms of service that are presented by Google and by Apple. If we're not able to abide by their terms of service, we can get the boot off their Play stores, which we don't want. So all the necessary protocols and systems need to be in place for protection of the platform and the people. So once that's all finalized, then we're good to go.
Yeah.
In the near future.
Yeah, but there's a series of steps that we are taking as the business side of this, as David said, and there's opportunities to migrate from a review process that's more manual of content and to API-driven triggers where the APIs are privately auditing and finding violence or underage or other types of things that might flag and need to be reviewed and either put into a private area of content for a user or removed from the system with a little bit of training going to that user. But we have methodically moved in the system to a beta level where once we're at the public level, we're going to be still probably running public at a beta for a brief time period of unknown duration. But as soon as that's over, we will probably at that time be fully comfortable with our auditing processes to keep in compliance, protections for users so they're not broadcasting more information about their geolocation and so forth beyond the people that need to discreetly know that information. And there's a few other operational things that we need to have in place before we pull the trigger on that.
Yeah.
Here's a fun question for you. Can Tautachrome guarantee data privacy?
Guarantee. What a word. Data privacy is so important. Yes, that's what we want. Guarantee, I'm not sure that anybody can guarantee anything. But if it's possible, we certainly would want to do that. Data privacy is crucial to us. That's our highest priority. So our intention is to do the greatest job ever in that arena.
And in the realm of what we're doing on the tech side is we're kind of introducing users to a new way to look at their own privacy.
Right.
Because a lot of times people are forfeiting their privacy as a deal to get technology from a variety of other platforms, where what we're trying to do is a little bit of education. Our platform spins up and is private by default. You have to actually go and upgrade your account to premium before any content can be shared externally. and they need to jump through one more hoop to make a public postings. And that is a part of our slow start, careful process to make sure we have everything in place. But we can't do it all. We will be using industry standard. We will be using cutting edge technologies to educate and make sure people understand how to segment and keep their data private and discreet. But it's also up to the user to really participate in that activity. So we can't protect people from their own kind of maybe laissez-faire attitude about their own privacy. So even there, we actually have some things in place to kind of alert them to the fact that they've done too much, and we've already been sending out notifications that are in a semi-automated process right now that notifies users of violations having to do with privacy, and so far that's where we're at today, and we're going to keep moving forward. And it's like Jon said, it's our goal for privacy, but it's a multifaceted thing that the user's involved with as well, and it's a cultural shift because people aren't used to privacy actually.
Yeah, that's right. So helping them get used to privacy and what it really means is part of our goal.
All right, guys, so I got just a few more questions here for you. This is another interesting one from the community. When will this be worldwide?
Well, maybe it's worldwide already. We have people from all over the world participating. And we're basically fundamentally a worldwide system. And we intend to root that and make it effective worldwide.
Yeah, and so technically the user groups that we have are right now in Australia, Canada, and the US, but as those users potentially move about the world, the application can be used. So you could be finding ARKs appearing globally anywhere. And right now, at this time, users that are in the system, in the beta system, can have a global search too. So you can find something on the South Pole if it was placed there. Someone should do that, by the way.
Get that done.
Get that done. But right now, the user base is core residents or citizens of Australia. I'm on the bottom of the globe here. Australia, Canada, and the U.S. And that will be expanding as we process more countries that align to our policies and our terms and conditions and so forth. We'll be adding more as we are able, but not before.
So that's all the questions from our community that we have. But is there anything that we didn't discuss today that's new in the works that we could possibly mention?
New that we could mention. You know, everything. Right. We're doing so many new things. How much can be mentioned? I think we mentioned enough right now. But yes, there are plenty of new things in the works. As I said, we're a technology company. New is our business. So there's plenty of new things to come.
Right, great response. Yeah. So I think I can speak for the community here when I say we appreciate everything that you all have done and everything that you plan to do for all the shareholders and the future of this company and ARknet.
Great.
So we appreciate it, guys.
Glad to do
Pleasure.
it.
Thank
Glad
you.
to do it.